Hello, everyone. Welcome to, it's a very special episode, but it's also our first episode of a new segment for the page for Toy Box Collectibles 2.0. As you would know by now, it's called Gimme 5. Gimme 5. Gimme 5. Joining me is Alex, my great friend, Alex Henry. If you've been around the page a lot, you would have seen him in a lot of my live auctions. If you've been to the toy fairs, you'll see him roaming around, normally with his arms packed full of statues and books and toys and collectibles. Huge figure in the collecting community in Australia, but also very much in Melbourne. There was no one I could think of who better suited to kick off Gimme 5 than Alex. They won't all be in person, but we are friends. We've been friends for many years. So I suggest to Alex that I come around and we do an in-person. These will typically be over StreamYard. So if you want to be on one of these, please hit me up, hit Ian up, hit Ben up, and we'll do a StreamYard. Very simple. I can talk you through the process. But yeah, the premise of the show, the segment, is to try and choose 5 items that have meaning to you. Now, I will put a little asterisk in. We will do more than one episode with Alex because his collection is honestly nuts. Like he won't pump up his own tires, but I will. It is the biggest collection in the state, probably the country. It'd be up there worldwide. Honestly, it is insane. If you could be here in this house and see what I'm seeing, your mind would be blown. Mine is every time I come. We've seen it before, but everything, there's constantly additions. There's constantly changes to the display. The display is the whole house. Is that fair?
Pretty much.
Yeah, people think, oh, I've got a big collection. Alex blows mine away, and that's the truth. It's the truth. But yeah, so I've asked Alex to select 5 collectible items that mean something to him or that he's passionate about. As I said, there will be more, and we'll do more with more people. So hit me up. But yeah, I've spoken too much already. Alex, would you like to quickly maybe give us a brief rundown of when your collecting journey might have started and what some of your...
My first memory of collecting comics was Secret Wars number 9.
Okay.
It was the issue after the black suit Spider-Man first appearance, and I could never find issue 8, and I still don't own it. It's my grail that I'll never own because I'm not paying... It's single comics. I've unfortunately moved out of single comics because they take too much room. And as Rod can see, I don't have much room left. So I've been going to collected editions. But my love for comics has been there forever. Before I moved to Australia, I used to collect Tintin and Lucky Luke and some of those comics from Europe. So, you know, over the years, I've had the comics that I love and the comics that give me a lot of joy and passion. And so... Today, I've highlighted a few of my loves, but there's a lot of stuff. I'm open to everything. Just like when people say, what's your favorite style of music? I don't really. There's things that I prefer to listen to, but, you know, it doesn't matter for me if it's heavy metal, rap, French music, whatever. I love it. And same with comics. You know, I like my video games that we used to play when we were young. So Street Fighter, all that type of stuff, Mortal Kombat, the comics. There's no Marvel versus DC. I love them both. I love art. I love collecting art books. So I've got a massive collection of just anything that I see and I like. And for me, it's either, you know, like a song, it's either the melody or the words. And sometimes you find where both of them fit together and they're amazing songs. Same with comics. Sometimes you've got a great writer, but not the greatest artist. Sometimes you've got a great artist, not the greatest writer. And then when you find that duo that works, you fall in love with that kind of that topic or whatever it is. So for me, it was Walt Simonson and Thor was probably my biggest love, and being part Swedish in my family, I fell in love with Thor, and hopefully we'll be able to edit because obviously I can't lift everything and bring in front of the camera, but I showed Rod my Thor collection, or a small part of it. One of the big ones there is it weighs 47 kilos. It's a 1/3 size Thor from XM Beast. It's amazing. I think Rod was able to also get a video of the base. The base is amazing, intricate. It tells the story of Norse mythology, from the Midgard serpent to, you know, Fenrir and all that. So that's a really beautiful piece. It's probably my favorite Thor piece. And I've got more Thors to show if we do end up doing another video. And then unfortunately, when you get a love for something, you want everything to be done for it. You know, it's like whether it's G.I. Joe for this man or Thor for me. but not a lot of people like the supporting characters enough to make a big piece from the big companies. So I was lucky enough to find people who were making custom pieces, and you will see an Odin, a beautiful Loki, I think based on Esad Ribic's drawings from the Thor comics, and a Sif. I love Sif as well, who is handmade in Norse mythology and technically Thor's other half, depending if you believe on mythology or you believe in the comics with Jane Foster and all those type of things. So I was able to find some customs. You know, some of these are only 30.
And a Beta Ray Bill.
And a Beta Ray Bill, yep. The Beta Ray Bill, though, was popular enough. That was XM, so it was the Thor.
Okay.
But the Odin, the Sith, and the Loki that you'll see were all done by custom makers. And I think one was 25 and one was only 50 worldwide. So anytime I troll through the custom Facebook groups and someone says, oh, I'm making this, anyone interested? I jump on it and then I look at the price, unfortunately. But some of those pieces are amazing. And as you know, being in Australia, unfortunately, we pay a premium for shipping all the way over here. You know, you buy a $500 statue and it costs you $1,000, $300 to $500 in shipping, but they're worth it. They're, collection worthy pieces that you want to keep forever. And I think Rod also was able to get Thor and Beta Ray Bill. Those are both Sideshow and XM. And then there was also the big hammer and a little collection of Thors, little knickknacks that you'll see that I collect when I like something. I collect a little bit of all those little things that go around it to display. And I'm very happy that I'm in my forever house. I've been able to bring everything out of boxes. Rod goes, you won't have any room for more statues. I'm like, everything's out. There's nothing waiting for a shelf. But there's not a lot of room to add anything else either.
But there's always more coming. I know you too well. And
I have slowed down dramatically. I have to. I can't fit in.
Look, guys, we won't. There's too much to do as either a full room tour. It'll take days. But I can't. I don't have the words to accurately describe what it's like. The descriptions that people use sometimes, where they say, "Oh, his house is like a museum," or "His collection is museum worthy." This is the true essence of museum worthy here. It is room upon room upon room of high end to low end. That's the great thing I love about you, Alex. Alex is not a collecting snob. He's not sort of like, I'm only buying the highest of high end pieces. He will buy Kinder Surprise all the way to $1,000 statues and above and beyond. He's not like, oh, that's beneath me or anything like that. There's none of that. There's no ego in this collection. It is all passion. It's 100% passion. And Alex, you've already spoken about the Thor stuff. That is one of your five, the Asgardians. I know that they are very near and dear to your heart, and always have been for many, many years. Hopefully, we've got the editing tools, Ian. I'm going to rely on you to do some overlays there, and hopefully, you will have seen as Alex was talking some of those statues that he mentioned. So I asked you the unenviable task of selecting five. What else would you like to do? Another of the remaining four? What else?
Star Wars was a big thing for me, 77, 80, and 83. I'm old enough to have been to the movies to see them, not on video or VHS or beta or whatever. I'm talking at the movies with the popcorn. They're amazing. And I know Ian, who is one of the admins like you on Toybox, is a big Star Wars Chewie collector. For me, it is Star Wars, but I have two things that I like in Star Wars, and one is Troopers. And Rod knows about my Trooper love. I like all the different Troopers, whether it's Lego minifigures to the statues. And we won't talk about the Lego incident of 2025.
As a Toybox Collectibles incident. That was that happened on a live auction. We can talk about it later.
And female Jedi and Sith. And you'll see, hopefully, we say, hopefully Ian can put the video that Rod took up. I love my female Sith apprentices or even masters, and my Jedi, female Jedis, and I love my Troopers. And of course, had to have Darth right in the middle. I'm not so much an individual like Luke or Han or Leia. It's really just Troopers in general, and then obviously the individual females. But I love them. And I've got other Trooper stuff, but we thought we'd just show you the little shelf that divides my living room from my dining room. So in my dining room, there is no table, there is no chairs, there is no way to sit in my house to eat, except if you want to stand at the kitchen table, as Rod has seen.
Like, you guys think Alex is joking. This is the truth. It is pure floor to ceiling, wall to wall, statues, eye candy, amazingness. You kind of just have to mill around the kitchen bench because everything else is collectibles.
And it's okay. And we're sitting in the living room right now. which is surrounded by Bowen statues, which is another love, which will be on another top 5, but it's too messy to really put it in there. And we found one spot to sit on. I've got a nice 1,000-litre beanbag where I sit to have a read and chillax. There is not a lot of room. So that's basically Star Wars, my love for Star Wars, from watching the movies to, come on, what a franchise.
When you kind of settled on Stormtroopers, I know you tend to lean more towards the heroes. I think that's probably fair to say. So is it the aesthetic? Is it the way they look?
The aesthetic of the troopers, the clean lines, the difference, from an Imperial Guard to a Death Trooper to a Sand Trooper, First Order versus original troopers, I just love it. And one of my favorites is the Biker Scouts from Return Jedi. I really like the look, and I remember them in the forest at Endor against Leia and Luke. So awesome. And I love the troopers. I do trend to more towards heroes, but like light needs darkness to shine. Heroes need good villains to shine as well. So Vader's an amazing villain who it's turned it around at the end. But you need a good villain. But I do tend to go towards heroes.
No, I love it. I love it. All right, what is the third?
The third one would probably have to be Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
So Calvin and Hobbes, I love the cartoon, and I remember both Rod and I got the Bill. Is it
the Bill Waterston?
Waterston?
Is it Waterston or Waterston?
I think it's Waterston.
Yes.
Slipcase Calvin and Hobbes Essentials, which is all the Calvin and Hobbes strips, and they're just so funny. You can watch it and you can read it and you can laugh, and there's sometimes subtle adult humor, and I don't mean sexual. I mean just like adult style jokes that only an adult would get in those comics. And I think he hit the nail on the head that he could be kind of childlike, innocent, and enough for kids to enjoy it, but also for adults, and adults obviously have the money, so that's where you can find. And Rod's been able to take a photo and a video of 2 of my custom, again, one of those statues that would never get made in general, of going down the hill in the cart with Calvin and Hobbes, and then the other one is called The Hug. Now, if you know Calvin and Hobbes, there's Spaceman Spiff, who is one of his alternate reality for Calvin, and they were going to make one. I still haven't seen it, but I'd be interested in getting a Spaceman Spiff statue, and then I've got the trio. So, a really big love, and I'm really happy with it.
Awesome. All right. So that's number 3. I mean, who doesn't love Calvin and Hobbes? I'm sure a lot of people know who we're talking about. You will have seen the images. I just have these memories of like the Sunday Herald Sun, and there'd be the little strip, and you just want more because you'd only get this little strip. So those collected editions where you can just go page after page and spend hours with them.
And those cloth covers as well. They did a really good job on that. That essentials.
They're really nice.
They're really nice.
They are. And there's a really good doco about Bill Waterston as well. Yeah, I recommend that. I think it may have been a Kickstarter, but I don't know how easy it is to find out. I'm sure it's on YouTube or something. But check that out. All right, we've only got 2 to go. We're moving really well. But it feels a little bit unfair to make you pick 5. But what's number 4?
Number 4, well, I grew up originally in France, and one of the things that French people love is Japanese animation. I'm talking the 70s. So some of you may or may not know these properties. So Mazinger, Grandinza, and we have also things like Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya, Pegasus. They're all kind of Japanese cartoons from the 70s. And I've been lucky enough to be able to find online people who have done these statues. They're not big outside of Japan. I got to go to Japan with my daughter and my son, and I've got a massive collection of Sol of Shogokun, which is a metal die-cast version of some of these robots, and other robots like Voltron, Gaiking, all those kind of robots. And so I've been able to get the mass-produced die-cast packs, which I can show another time if anybody's interested. But the big one that I got, and Rod has been able to photo and video, are the 3 big ones. And there you'll see Grindins and Mazinger there. And they're just amazing pieces. Just the bust, they're statues, they're quite heavy. But when I saw them and I got them, when they came, it was that utter joy. A bit like USS Flag with Rod when it opened. Maybe not as big in terms of joy, but definitely something that reminded me of my childhood. And I just wish they would have made comics, But even Battle of the Planets, you guys might know, Gatchaman, Battle of the Planets, all those type of cartoons. I know there's a lot more manga and more different things now, but those are the old school 70s robots from Japan. And yeah, it just brings back memory in France of having chocolate milk and, you know, a croissant and watching cartoons at 4 o'clock after school. So yeah, I had to get some stuff like that. It brings a lot of joy and a lot of good memories. And I think I would say that's for all of us. A lot of this for you, G.I. Joe, is watching the cartoons, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, He-Man. I know all your loves.
Well, this is the thing. Hearing you talk about the Japanese robots, I love that maybe more than when I hear you talk about other stuff, because the other stuff, I like to consider myself pretty well versed in most properties and most things, but they're a real kind of black spot for me, where I was probably, I mean, I was born in December of 79, so they were probably, I don't know if I aged out of them, but they just weren't around when I was a kid as much.
I don't know if they came to Australia much, but France has got a big...
Well, there does seem to be a market for them here, though, at the toy fairs and stuff. Yeah. So you see them popping up. I know you pretty much scooped that market up for a lot of the people. But no, I know guys like Bevan Davey collect them, and one of the guys, Troy from Comitaras, he's big on them. So, and Andrew at Collector's Edge is big on them.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Andrew, yes. I thought it was his son more than...
Oh, well, this is true as well, yeah. But I know they've done treks over to Japan on the hunt as well.
I recommend going to Japan if you do like the robots. You'll never want to leave.
But I love hearing you guys talk about them, because it makes me feel good, because I see you light up. And it's all gibberish to me in a lot of ways. Like, I've seen them around. I know of them. I don't really know a lot of history. I know the Battle of the Planets and Voltron and the stuff that kind of came out of them. But that was more accessible for younger kids. But of my age, I should say. But yeah, I love hearing you talk about them and seeing them in your collection, because there's something that I don't really collect, but can appreciate, like most of us can when we see things we don't collect. But yeah, it's really cool that there's something that I can kind of learn about through you. And what's this one? And you're saying these names, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's cool. It's awesome. That brings us to number 5. Number 5 is something that I do love, and but you certainly take the cake with this property. You've got some signed books by the man himself. You've got some art, but this one we can actually hold up. It's compact enough and small enough that we've got it with us.
I had to find something
that we can actually sit here and hold. So if you want to bring it on screen.
So here it is. It was a NECA exclusive website only. You could get it. I don't know if it was at San Diego, but you definitely couldn't get it anywhere else from the website. It is the Year of the Rabbit, which was, I think it was last year or the year before. Yeah, 2023. Sorry, 2 years. Well, it's 2023,
quick, right? Yeah.
And it's basically Usagi in all his different versions. It's boxed. I do not unbox these. I did get 2 just in case, but it is Usagi and Stan Sakai's property. It's just nice and simple drawings, but really like what the Japanese do really well. You know, there's not a lot of cross-hatching. There's no color. It's just nice, simple, and it's just a great story. I love everything like old school, like, you know, Thor and mythology. I like samurais and Japan, feudal Japan. And so I really fell in love with Usagi Yojimbo. The other one piece of property that I like, not from Stan Sakai, but that's in that kind of feudal Japan, is Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yes.
Yep. I recommend it. Dark Horse has just put out a really thick omnibus. They're going to do a list of those. And I just love everything about feudal Japan and the honor and the cleanliness of things. You know, movies, The Last Samurai, won't talk Tom Cruise, 47 Ronin, you know, John Wick and 47 Ronin. But all those type of movies, even the Shogun TV series that came out recently, there's just so much history there and so much to delve into that culture. And so I was so happy to go to Japan twice in the last 3 years. And when this came out, I had a mate in the States who's friends to both of us. I said, can I send something to you because it doesn't ship outside the US? I've learned since then. I've got a US address to collect parcels. And I think Rod and I will partake in that address quite a lot with things that we can't get here. It really, pardon my French, really shits me when there's good stuff. There's so many more international collectors, but because they won't ship outside the US or whatever. And so it's great when we can get our hands on, you know, exclusive stuff that's hard to get, that you have to be there and press enter and hope that, you know, there's not a bot that beats you to it, because some of these sets are limited. But yeah, this is a great set. If you haven't read Usagi Yojimbo, you can get it in soft cover, in hardcover. They're just really good, wholesome reads with good storylines, good plot development, and good stories. Yeah, it's just amazing.
It's funny. I mean, you're probably giving people, some people, a bit of a mini education who will only know Usagi Yojimbo from
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So yeah, I mean, obviously back in the late 80s, early 90s, it would be late 80s, Stan loaned his property. There was some sort of deal that was brokered.
They were both working for Mirage, I think.
Right, yeah.
Both properties. And
which allowed Usagi to be transported over to the Turtles in both the comics and then the animated TV show, which meant he got a Playmates figure.
Yep.
So people will see these and be like, oh, I know this guy, but what is this stuff? Yeah, this is the stuff that came first, and this is the stuff that has gone on beyond Turtles and away from Turtles. But yeah, it is the same dude. If you're hearing that and thinking, I know of a Samurai Rabbit, but he didn't have a space costume and he didn't have all these things. These NECA figures do come separately. You can get them separately. They're also all pretty much out of print, out of stock. They're still around on the secondary market. But yeah, this is the only way that these four were collected together in this gorgeous display set. There's also a switch out head for the traditional version. Well, not the traditional version, sorry. It's the cartoon version.
Yep.
Yeah, not because the original one I see is the third in line. But yeah, there's switch out heads. There's extra accessories that don't come in the smaller NECA packs. It's a gorgeous set, Year of the Rabbit set. A great idea, great concept. I love the selection. I know you love Usagi. I know you love Stan Sakai and all his work, as you do all 5 of your selections. Top shelf picks, mate. I know there'll be more. I mean, I'm surprised that a few you didn't go with, but
I'm interested to see what you think I should have.
Well, I'll give you one on screen, and we'll keep the rest for another episode. I thought you might have gone with Captain America.
He's up there. Yeah. Wonder Woman and Captain America for another day.
Yep. I mean, for those who watch the live auctions on the page, Alex is always in the comments asking me anything Wonder Woman, anything Captain America, anything Stormtroopers. There was a Stormtrooper incident. Sean McNeil, if you're out there, you know what it was. Alex missed a live one time, and I put a whole heap of Lego minifig Stormtroopers. It was like clones, and we're talking, how many do you think in one bundle?
I can't remember, but when I saw it at the fair, I said, I'll take that. And you said, it's already sold.
Yeah.
I tried to outbid. I said, tell him I'll double his offer.
What happened was I put it up on a live auction on the page. It was like maybe 50 minifigs, 30 to 50 minifigs. Went for a great deal. Sean McNeil got a great deal. And he said, I'll pick it up at the toy fair. And then I had it down behind my table at the toy fair. And Alex saw it. He said, oh, minifigs, I'll take those. And whatever you're pricing them, I'll take them. And I'm like, they're actually a pickup for Sean. And he was like, what, from when? And I said, there was a live that you missed. You didn't log in. And he said, I didn't know you had to do this. So, yeah, I did. And then Alex was like, well, tell Sean I'll pay double what he'd paid. And I was like, I think he wants them, but I'll ask him. And then Sean actually arrived at the table while you were still at the table. And you were like, Sean, I'll give you double. And he kind of chuckled and thought you were joking. And you were like, no, I'm serious. I'll give you 1.5 times the amount. And he was like, oh, I'm going to put them on my Death Star Lego. And you were like, okay, but the offer's there. It's a serious offer. And unfortunately for you, but fortunately for Sean, he decided to keep them. But yeah, I've never lived it down. Alex has always said, what's my rule? Let me know if there's Stormtroopers. I will come and bid. So yeah, I won't do that again. But yeah, no, these are the stories that we have as we go along the journey. I love it. I love you and your collection, and thank you so much for letting me intrude.
It's not intruding. I love it when people. Well, actually, only 2 people have come to my house.
Yep.
I try. I work pretty hard, so I don't always.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But it's not a collection. I don't collect to then show off and everything. I don't mind doing these shows. I love sharing, but it's about the passion, not about, hey, look what I've got.
Yeah.
But I've been collecting, come on, guys, 50 years. So I've had time to collect all this stuff. It hasn't opened overnight. And so, you know, if you're on your building journey, just collect what you love. You'll never go wrong. But as a side note, even though he's downplayed his collection, I've been to Rod's house, the Marvel Museum, and it is a collection of love. It is curated. It is moved around. Every time I go to Rod's house, he's moved something around. I'm like, I feel like I'm on a merry-go-round that's turned into a roller coaster. It's just amazing. And, you know, for him, it's all the memories, the signed photos, Patrick Stewart, the Sylvester Stallones, the recent Drago and the Creed gloves. You know, I notice all these things. He says, "Oh, my collection's it's good, it's good, it's amazing." There's pieces in there. I say, "Rod, when you want to get rid of this," you know, he's like, "I'm never getting rid of that." I'm like, "Yeah, in case you change your mind, just I want to put little stickers on all the things." What are these stickers? These
Claim stickers.
claim stickers. But
No,
yeah,
that's
it's a there's a reason he's an admin on Toy Box. A, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and B, he's got a passion more than me. He says I've got a lot of passion, and I do. But for me, I think a lot of this is I have a lot of stuff, but in terms of quality over quantity, which I think is very important, Rod beats me hands down. His quality is just amazing, and his passion for his collection is amazing, and that's why I think we get along. And it's good that we don't have everything the same, because I think we'd be butting heads.
Yeah, this is true.
And as much as I probably have more love for Stan Sakai, I can name you so many things in my collection that Rod has so much more love for, but I don't mind coming second to this man. But thank you for inviting me.
No, too kind. My absolute pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying with us for this long. Hope you enjoyed them. The plan is to do a lot more. So like I said, Alex has kicked it off and really set the tone. It doesn't all have to be as big as a collection as Alex. We're not going for size or quantity like Alex just said.
5 items that show from your collection that you love.
Exactly.
It may be anything from a minifig to a big statue to a limited edition book to an old tattered book that you've carried since you were 5 years old because it was the first gift your grandma gave you, whatever it is.
Exactly.
It's about passion. That's all we care about.
We're not after, we want to see cool stuff, sure, but we're after the stories, and we want to hear your story, your collecting journey, your story, and what means something to you and why. So hopefully, people can hit me out. I will also reach out to some people. I've got some people in mind already. But we will be back. Maybe not back here, maybe over stream. We'll see how we go. We might come back. But yeah, you'll see more of Alex's collection. Don't worry about that. And hopefully more of a lot of yourselves' collections during this segment. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.
Do it.